Like, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to Divine Temple for the idea for this video. Okay, we're going to be doing a Apocrypha race tier list, and this is going to be based off my opinions and my thoughts on each of the races, so let's go left to right here. So first we have Aurelion, which is pretty good. I'd say it's one of the 1% apocryphal races, and you can heal in the sun with it. And you get a beam and then like a bomb spell where you explode and it does a bunch of damage to your opponents. So the beam is actually pretty good. It does good damage. It did just get nerfed recently. But if you say you go Shinobi, that's what I'm making my Aurelion, is you go Shinobi and you just get a guaranteed hit on your beam. Because all in all, it is kind of hard to keep consistent with its hitting. But overall, I think it's pretty good. I think it's going to go A tier for Aurelion because the beam's pretty good, and the regens will be pretty good in PvE. And we have Endling here, and with Endling, it's okay. So Firebane taking 50% more fire damage is pretty bad. It can just kill you really quick because my first slot was an Endling, but then you're immune to certain injuries, which really doesn't matter that much. But Swarm, so Swarm is the main ability, and it gives you a bunch of vertical and horizontal movement, like really good movement. Probably the best movement in the game besides the Serpent Awakening. So I think it is pretty good. It is pretty worthwhile. It depends on your build. So if you need a build where you need to either run or be fast, I think Endling is good. But the fire damage kind of takes it down a bit, so I think Endling is a good B tier. And then we have Hierodule. And with Hierodule, you get a lantern, and you get, well, first of all, you get 20% more magical defense, like straight out, which is really good. And then you get a lantern, which can give you basically healing over time when you stand in like the area of effect that the lantern gives. And that's kind of the main thing. And the healing is pretty good, but overall, it just feels like for a 1% chance race, it feels kind of lacking. Same with Aurelion, but I think they are getting buffs in the future. But the healing is pretty good, and the 20% magic buff defense is pretty good. So I think I'd go A tier with Hierodule as well. And then we have Human. So with Human, you actually get a skill called Respire, and it's your only thing, but it makes it so you can't die for a couple seconds when you use it. So if you're like one tap and then you use it, then you can't go down. So it's like a last leg sort of thing, and that can be combined with the skills in the skill tree that make it so you don't go down. And then you can use Respire again with compatible with the skills. So it can be pretty good, but that's really all you get. So it kind of falls short in that way. So I'd put Human in B tier probably, maybe high C. Maybe I put a high C, I think, actually. And then we have Hylic. So this is the mushroom race as a dev race, I'm pretty sure. So you get spores that can burst, spreading sickness to anyone caught in the cloud. I have yet to see this happen, but I'm assuming it's a stun, AoE stun. Probably not that big, probably doesn't do a ton of damage. Probably just does poison damage over time. But that could be pretty good. And then Blight, but your max health is reduced by 15%, which is really bad. Because you don't have a lot of health in this game. You die pretty quick, so having your health reduced by 15% can be kind of huge. So I think for that reason, Hylic's going to go in C tier. If that spore move was pretty good, then it might go in B, but I think because of that, it's going to go in C tier. And then we have Hyrkanian. Yeah, that's how you say it. Hyrkanian. Hyrkanian's pretty decent, even as a common race. So your stature is increased by 10%. That just gives you more posture. That's pretty nice. But most of the time I don't find myself getting posture broken. But if you do, that could be nice for you. You get more physical damage. So 25% more physical damage from the bonuses. So say you get like a 10% bonus, then that would be a 12.5% bonus, right? So that's actually pretty good. If you go like a physical damage build, which most classes right now are physical damage, then you get a move called Rib Breaker. Deliver a brutal kicking strike that breaks ribs, replaces heavy attack if on cooldown. So you basically get 2 heavies with this without having to get the double heavy skill, and then it like slows your opponent. So it's actually pretty good. And then predatory strikes, Hyrkanian heavy attacks, cripple foes, or inflict bleeding. So if you can cripple someone with a heavy attack, the bleeding is okay. It does basically just more damage over time. But crippling someone is really good, especially if they have like a running speed build. If you can cripple them, it slows them down. So honestly, I put Hyrkanian A tier, no lie. And then we have Rhast, the dev race. So with Rhast, they're immune to reality bending effects. I think that's like, you know, when your screen gets blurry, kind of stuff like that. And Necromancer ult and all that. And then Riftwalk, I think they get like a teleport dash move. And then Spatial Passage, which I think is basically a gate from Rogue Lineage where you can teleport places. And then one thing is actually Rhast, because it's only devs and then certain like testers and people that have this race, they actually get like literally the entire skill tree unlocked. So for that reason, it's gonna literally for that reason, it's gonna go S tier. The other things of it are like cool. I actually just fought a Rhast opponent. I'll put a little clip right now. And it was one of the head of staffs. I just fought him, and you get like a cool little flying animation. It's pretty cool, but literally just for the reason that you literally get the entire skill tree unlocked as a Rhast. That's just broken. That's OP. And then we have Siphlid. So with Siphlid, yeah, this was my first race before I rolled. And so you retain 30% more heat. That just doesn't really matter right now until the PvE comes out, where you can, you know, go in cold environments. And then you can see in the dark a little bit better with a green tint. I mean, I haven't really had any problems seeing when it's dark, so it doesn't really matter. And you can glide, so this is okay. A lot of people will use it to run, like I'll be attacking them and they'll be Siphlid and they'll jump up high and then start gliding down and run. And it can be good, but that's kind of like its only use is either like getting down from a height without taking fall damage or running. And then double jump and triple jump, so you can get double jump, triple jump, so basically you can triple jump and then glide down. So for running or for falling down from really heights is really good. Other than that, it kind of doesn't really do much. And one really annoying thing is with Siphlid, since you're a moth race, you get attracted to lights. So any lights, your camera will literally just lock onto them and then like make you walk toward them, and you can't do anything. You can't control your character for like a couple seconds, and that's really annoying. And so for that, since it's kind of just a runner race and it has that really annoying aspect, I'm gonna put it in D tier. And then we have Synth. So this is the supporter race. You can get this if it's 3,500 Robux and you pay the supporter thing, and then you still have to roll it, which I think is kind of weird. But with it, you get 50% toxicity resistance. You can shift into things. So your whole thing is you can shift into humans, other players, into objects. It's like Madrazian for Rogue Lineage, basically, except a little more amplified. So to shift into a player, you have to have them knocked. And this doesn't really have that much of a use right now, or I can't really see it having much of use in PvE, besides the fact that you could like troll with it maybe. But shift into objects, that could be really good to surprise people in like Battle Royale right now. That could be good for that, or to hide if you needed to hide. And then shift into creature is also good for that same thing, hiding, surprising someone, jumping someone, something like that. So for that, I think just for the memes and the fun of the race, it'll go in A tier. It's probably the bottom of A tier, but because the shifting is cool, it doesn't have a ton of practical uses, but I think it's really fun and cool. Okay, and then we have the Teragen race, the cat race. So this is all about parkour, agility, moving around quicker. So you get the whole parkour moveset unlocked for free, which is kind of nice. Saves you a couple of points if you want to unlock that. Right now, I think the parkour tree is... So it's just the subclass, which I think there's infinite subclasses right now, so it kind of gets negated, but I think when PvE comes out, there will be a subclass limit, so it will be good for that. You basically get a free subclass. And then Nimble Climber, you can perform 2 consecutive climbs, and then you take less fall damage, basically. So it's okay. I do see people just like running with it a lot in Battle Royale. So for that, it's kind of a runner race. It's okay. The parkour, free subclass, you know. So for that, I'll go C tier. because it doesn't give you a ton, but you know, it's nice to get a free subclass. And then we have Veskan. So Veskan I think is actually really strong. Because so you get Tremor Sense, which lets you basically get like a sort of ESP sort of thing where you can see other people through walls, like Toph from Avatar, you know, because you're blind. That's the whole thing of Veskans, they're like blind. And you get Dark Instinct, which lets you basically get hit for free without taking any damage. It's a decent, like, it's not even that long of a cooldown. I think it's a fair cooldown, but it's not that long, so it's honestly pretty good. It just lets you, like, say someone hits you, then you can just hit them because you use your Dark Instinct. And then right now, it's not in the game, but then I'll put a clip of it. So you get Martial Arts, and Martial Arts is, so it's a racial attack abilities, and they look really cool, and they look really good. And this will be great in classless 1v1s, because you can use your race abilities in classless 1v1s. And other races don't really have abilities like this. And then Battle Royale, it can be okay in Battle Royale, because you can get a class in Battle Royale. But then at the start, it's pretty good, and it's more combo extenders, more moves to use, so there's like no harm in that. And you get Awakening. Awakening is really strong. So for about, I think it's 15 seconds, you put on your blindfold, your screen goes dark, you can see like outlines of people, and then you can't be hit at all in Awakening, and you can still hit people, you can still fight, you can do whatever. If you ever played roblox, it's like the class, you know, the blind seer class where you have the sword and you go blind, and basically it's mode you can't be hit, you can still hit people. It's really good. And so for that, I think Veskan's gonna go in S tier. I think it's my favorite race that I've used, and but every race has, you know, its uses, but Veskan's really good. So finally we have Viri. Viri's pretty good. So it's like the magic based race. You get 20% more magical damage effectiveness. Already a big magic damage buff. You can see other people's health at level 0, which that is really good in team fights. 1v1s, it's okay. You can then you can make more decisions, be like, do I need to back up? Should I push in? Or they one tap? So it's good for 1v1s, but it's especially good for team fights where you can be like, hey, let's focus this guy. He's really low. And that's really nice. And then you can rapidly assemble structures with telekinetic precision. So basically, whenever you build, you know, the structures that you can craft, it just is faster, which is, I mean, no one really uses the building right now. There's not really much of use for it unless you just want to like troll in arena. So if you want to troll in arena, maybe that's good for you. Telekinesis, you can like slam down players with this. And it's kind of hard to hit, so it works a little weird. It's okay. Eclipse Eye basically gives you like a free cam thing where you can just move around freely with your eye, like the third eye kind of thing that detaches from you, floats around you, and then you can basically free cam. So this can be good for scouting, and mainly right now Battle Royale. So it's decent. It just gives you scouting ability, but honestly, if you just walk around, it doesn't matter. So if you want to be like sneaky, it's good for that. So with all this said, I think Viri would probably go top of B tier, just because it's the health is really good for team fights, so that might push it to A. The magic damage is also really good, and that's like the two main things, the magic damage and the health sight. So with the magic damage, I made like a mage build, and I think it's really strong. Especially if you get the eye sigil. I have the eye sigil mixed with Viri, and that's really strong. I basically get 40% bonus. I forgot to talk about Darkspawn, but basically you just get a res, and with the res you can res at 35% HP. It's okay, because they get a health pack even when you die and then still res, so it kind of just gives you like another fighting chance, but honestly for a 2% race it's kind of bad. So I put Darkspawn in like C tier. So yeah, I think Viri will be. Anyway, that is my race tier list, my opinions on the races and all their abilities. So hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and I really appreciate you watching, and have a good day.